Do you feel stuck in your lawn care business? Well, stick around because I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I have personally used to unlock financial freedom for myself at the age of 33. Now, disclaimer, I don't own a lawn care company, but my company works with lawn care companies. So I own the landscaping Bookkeeper, which is bookkeeping for lawn care companies. And I also own Lawn Care Launch, which helps lawn care business owners create a life that they want around their business. So my number 1 is vision. And I see this all the time. Guys don't know where they're headed and they end up building a prison for themselves and they don't know how to get out of it because they never laid out a blueprint of what they wanted to become. What sort of lifestyle do you want? How many employees do you want? What position do you want in the company? Where do you see your wife and your kids fitting? These are all questions that you need to be answering inside of your vision. You don't have like a GC just start building a home for somebody without any plans. It would never work. It would look ridiculous when they got done because the owner, you, needs to lay out what you want this thing to become. If you've ever heard of commander's intent, where the general idea of an army when they attack something is, let's say we want to take that hill. That gives everybody also the freedom inside of that to understand the prerogative. Where are we headed? We need to take that hill. And there's a bunch of steps under that, but at least everybody knows where you're headed. It's going to help you rally your team around your shared vision. So it goes so much deeper than just, maybe even building a prison for yourself. This is going to come in later whenever you start building your team around it. They know where you're going. People like to have a heading. They like to know that there's direction and there's order. And so the vision goes a long way. You don't want to be starting your vision and you're 15. I mean, you want to start it as early as possible and you can do that. So yeah, that's my number 1. Number 2 is going to be having a plan. All right, so you got your vision. Now you've got to lay out your steps of how you're going to achieve that vision. My wife and I, every New Year's, we go out of town or to a restaurant and we decide how we're going to get to certain goals. Like we have fitness goals, we have business goals, we have lifestyle goals. All this stuff's interconnected. Don't just isolate your business from your life. You want to have it interconnected and interplay with everything you have going on. Your fitness life is going to connect to your business life. Your personal life, especially in the early years, is going to highly connect to your business life. So list out, some goals and have a plan of how you want to actually, what do they say when you eat an elephant one bite at a time? That's kind of your plan inside of your vision. And get specific with it, like, how much do you want to lift? Like even your fitness goals, for example. Maybe you don't want to lift a lot. Maybe you just want to feel good, or you want to have more energy so you can run around with your kids. Maybe you do have lifting goals, like list those out. And then on the personal side, maybe you'd like to create a life where you have weekends off, or you get to have regular date nights with your wife so y'all have good communication, you're on the same page. Maybe you want to invite her into the story a little bit. So have some sit downs, tell her where you're headed so she can push back against that. You don't want to be, kind of a dictator where you're just directing everyone with absolutely no feedback or pushback. Like, you bring your wife into it if you have one. Have her push back against some of your ideas and get her caught up into the loop as early as possible, because the longer you start building this thing, I've seen it happen many times where spouses get distance because they have no idea what's going on, and there's no way for them to catch up. If you're on year 10 of building, it's very hard for them to catch up if you're so far into this thing. So bring them in as early as possible, and it'll get you your bond tighter, and it'll make your business better, truly. My number 3 is accountability, and maybe you are bringing your wife into it, or heck, there's some women out there that build some great businesses. Bring your husband into it, right? So your wife or husband can be good pushback and keep you accountable for things, but get you another group of guys or gals that are building businesses as well. We have one inside of Lawn Care Launch. It's free to join. I'll put the link in the description, but there's many of them out there, and just a group of people that's going to make sure that you've actually, you've laid out your vision. Now you've got your plan. They're going to keep you to your plan, and you're going to keep them to their plan. So it goes both ways. And when we have somebody pushing against us and keeping us accountable, you're going to have a much higher degree of certainty that you're actually going to accomplish those things. And people like that. You get your gym buddy. It's the same thing, right? You have a business buddy that's going to help you. Maybe they're ahead of you. Maybe they're behind you. You can be a mentor to them. There's a whole bunch of interplay that goes on there. And those relationships are what make business worth it in the end. With that accountability, you're also going to get to see what sort of person you may need to become in order to get to the next level. If you've got somebody that's, doing $1 million and you're doing 100,000, They're going to tell you all the steps they had to become that a lot of times is even outside of business, right? Like there's some discipline you got to build, consistency. There's maybe some leadership skills that you need to learn, some trust that you need to build with employees. There's so many different layers to it, and you'll get to kind of see a roadmap of how to actually get where you're going. Because many times if you're at 100, 200K or at any level trying to go to the next level, you don't really know what the roadmap looks like. You don't really know what steps you need to take in order to get to where you're headed. So have somebody that's been there that's going to kind of keep you accountable, and it'll serve as a roadmap for you. And that's gone a long way in my personal life is seeing somebody, I'm like, man, they got an awesome life. Now, how'd they do that? And, how do I need to what steps do I need to go take next in order to do that? Number 4 is trust, man. And I brought this up in the accountability section, but you have to learn to trust people. If you're going to build a business rather than a job, a business is compiled of other people, and you have to trust those people. Now, where it gets frustrating is when you don't have any plans or a vision laid out and your people don't really know what to do. You have to direct them all the time. It's hard to trust them because they're not really in your head. They don't know that maybe all you want to do is provide great customer service, right? Like maybe they think it's just all about making the best lawn, but they don't care about the customer at all. Like you have to key them in on what's very important to you, and then they can serve that goal. If you think that the best thing is customer service, they will get hyper-focused on customer service. You'll know what you're hiring for, and they'll be able to make decisions inside of that instead of you just holding their hand and direct them all the time, because they know deep down that's what you desire. And it's probably the most common thing I hear is nobody can do it like me, or I don't want to let go. Well, you're just stuck in having a job for yourself rather than a business. You're probably going to work until you die because you're not letting other people help you achieve the vision that you set out. And that's the beautiful thing about being human. We talk about community all the time. Build a community inside of your business. And a community is a shared group of people working towards a common goal. Now, you as the owner are the leader, so you need to lay out the plans and the vision and then have them work alongside you to accomplish that. It's a really cool thing, and you're going to become a better leader and communicator and somebody that people will really rally behind. And that's how you create an organization rather than just a job where you're going to get burned out, your body's going to break down, you're going to have times when you can't even get out in the field, be lacking a paycheck. Create a business, and that business is going to be a source of passive income from you. You don't have to depend on your body all the time. So trust is a huge element. Number 5 is learning to understand business. Now, I mentioned this in the trust part, but business is something that will reward you while you're sleeping. It's a source of passive income for you in its truest sense. If you have a job, that means you're there present all the time. You're working it just like a 9 to 5. You might make a good salary, but you have to be there in order to have the income show up. A business is something that can operate outside of you, something that you can step out of. And there's a whole language behind that because you've never been really taught in school or anything how to build something that can produce money while you're not there. In a way, you're building a machine and a mechanism that can be a provider for you and your family. Us men all the time, we say, I have to be the provider for my family. Well, you can be a provider by building something that provides for you as well. Don't put it all on your back all the time. You can build something that can be outside of you in the form of a business that can provide for you, your family, your community. It can get huge. And so oftentimes we wear this huge weight of, I just got to do everything myself. I got to do everything myself. Not true. Build something. I mean, that's kind of what the tractor was there for, right? Like the tractor, whenever America was getting out of agriculture and going into manufacturing, we built the tractor to buy our time back so we didn't have to bust our back so much. Many great inventions are built off of the same premise. You're building an organization or a machine that can produce for you when you're not there, or that at least lightens the load. I remember I started learning the language of business in 2018. Now, I went to school for business. I honestly didn't learn that much. It was kind of a waste of time. But in 2018, I picked up an investment book. It just changed my life. I started learning about what makes a good investment. And a lot of that carried over to our business today. I can understand and read these things much easier. But when I first picked it up, I was like, what is it talking about? What is return on invested capital? What's return on assets? What is profit? I hear profit used in all these different contexts. What is that? And so the more you dive into it, the better you will get at making decisions that allow you to trust and step outside of your main role as a landscaper. You don't want to be there forever. Maybe you do. Most of us don't. Most of us want to step outside of that job and become the leader that we would respect so much. You know, you can respect yourself a lot more when you do things that are scary and you step outside of your comfort zone. And this can be one of the first steps in business to doing that. But learn the language of business. Find somebody that is ahead of you. Read some books. Listen to podcasts. I've learned so much just surrounding myself with great thinkers, and heck, learning on YouTube, reading books, podcasts while I'm traveling. It's intimidating first, but the more reps you get in, the more you're going to understand what they're talking about. And if you're interested in learning the language of business, that's something that we help in Landscaping, Bookkeeper, and Lawn Care Lunch. I'll put the link in the description. Come join our community. That's one thing that I'm probably, my top 3 things I'm most passionate about is just teaching financial literacy and business concepts to just average, everyday, hardworking Americans, because so oftentimes people in the finance industry think they have to talk over your head. I'm very passionate about bringing it down and helping people have a starting point of at least where to begin, and give them a good resources on how to keep increasing that knowledge base, because it's very important. In school, when you learn financial concepts, it's like, what do I do with this? Who cares? When it's your business, you have to learn it in order to get to the next level, in order to have a consistent flow of income, something that can expand to your community, make an impact, make a legacy, something where you don't have to bust your back every day. These concepts in finance are very important when you but you first have to have that vision. Don't build something that you have no idea what you're doing and then learn all this stuff 10 years in. Learn it from the beginning. It's easy to build that foundation and build on top of it, rather than trying to patchwork a bad foundation. Build your foundation first. These are the 5 steps to doing that. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments, and like and subscribe. I appreciate it, and good luck out there.